On July 19, 2002, a crisis center in Colorado received a call from an individual. The caller had attempted to contact a counselor earlier in the day, but had been unsuccessful. The caller was relieved to learn that he had finally made it through and was chatting with a crisis counselor. The caller initiated a conversation with the counselor, but was disconnected after 9 seconds. James Holmes was the one who dialed the number. He had called in the hopes of being talked out of carrying out what would become known as the Aurora shooting massacre. So in today's video, we are going to tell you the details of this horrific shooting and how the shooter was brought to justice. But before continuing, if you like strange and true crime stories, then please consider subscribing our channel and also press the bell icon. Holmes was born in Oak Hills, California, on December 13, 1987, and relocated to San Diego when he was 12 years old. Holmes was a reclusive adolescent who spent most of his time playing video games. He was a big fan of Warcraft 3, and he was one of the best players in the game. Despite his social awkwardness, he had an excellent academic record. He earned an honors degree in neuroscience from the University of California at Riverside in 2010. He achieved a 3.949 GPA and was in the top 1% of his class. Holmes began work and then applied to graduate school. He was accepted into the Anschutz Medical Campus in Aurora. This was the start of his gradual descent into darkness. For the first time in his life, he was having academic difficulties. Furthermore, the girl he was dating, who his first and only girlfriend, was losing interest in him and only wanted to be friends with him. Graduate school stress and the prospect of losing his girlfriend were wearing him down. Holmes had a family history of mental illness. A therapist had advised him to take medication when he was younger. He went to 3 different therapists at the university and told each one that he was having homicidal thoughts. Holmes got sad and left graduate school, spending the majority of his time alone. The desire in him to harm others grew strong. He wrote the girl an email in which he expressed his desire to kill others. He also sent his previous therapist his diary, which documented his homicidal thoughts. Someone needed to intervene and persuade him that there was another option. He tried calling the crisis line as a last resort, but was disconnected. There was no going back after he hung up the phone. He got a ticket to see The Dark Knight Rises, bought some popcorn, and sat down to watch the film. While the rest of the audience was focused on the movie, he was observing and plotting what was going on inside the theater. Halfway through the movie, Holmes left his seat and exited the theater. He crossed a line of 400 people waiting to buy tickets as he proceeded toward his car. He'd be able to exact his vengeance on a large number of individuals at the cinema tonight. He returned to his car and took out his weaponry. He donned his urban assault armor, loaded his weapons, and donned his gas mask. He moved toward the back of the theater, armed and ready, and entered through an unsecured back door. Because they were engrossed on the movie, the crowd did not notice Holmes right away. He threw 2 gas canisters in the middle of the auditorium and began killing people right away. The crowd screamed and chaos broke out. The majority of the audience dove to the floor, shielded by the chairs in front of them. Some people in the back rows tried to run for the exits. The air was thick with smoke, gunshots, and the sounds of sobbing and shouting. Suddenly, there was a strange silence. Holmes' rifle had jammed. The audience remained silent in order to avoid being detected by Holmes. The silence was short-lived. He grabbed his Glock 22.40 caliber handgun and continued shooting. As his bullets showered the theater, several of them pierced the walls and struck 3 people in the adjacent theater. When police arrived, they found Holmes standing by his car in the parking lot. He was cooperative and did not resist arrest. The tragedy claimed the lives of 12 people and injured another 70. 2 court-appointed forensic psychiatrists ruled Holmes was sane at the time of the shooting during his competency hearing. While being evaluated, Holmes referred to the victims he injured as collateral damage emphasizing that he was only concerned with how many people he could kill at the time of the attack. On July 16, a jury found Holmes guilty of 12 charges of first-degree murder, 140 counts of attempted first-degree murder, and 1 count of having explosives in Holmes' trial. He was condemned to 12 life sentences with an additional 3,318 years in prison.